Hey, all you ghoulie pops, and welcome to the Hot Ghouls Club podcast. I am your host, Jamie, and today we have with me my co-host, Tara, and one of our revolving hosts, Alyssa. This podcast will be about all things that go bump in the night, so anything from murder cases to disappearances to alien abductions and all else that falls in between. So I'm going to be passing the mic so that way we can get a little introduction as to who your hosts are and a little bit of an about us. So I am Jamie. I love all things obviously ooky spooky. And from ever since I was in high school, I just kind of got really into the morbid curiosity of serial killers, what makes them work, why they do what they do, and also just like everything else that kind of like makes you question your whole entire life existence. So that's why I kind of want to, I really resonate with podcasts, and I love listening, and I love hearing other people's takes, and I kind of want to give my own.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Tara, Jamie's co-host for the Hot Ghouls Club. Welcome. I love horror. I think I want to say that's what I want to say first. That's what really I've loved since I was a little girl, is always the horror and the spookiness of it. I think I got more into serial killing probably 6 or 7 years ago. I feel like when everybody else got more into podcasts and listening to them. So I'm excited to be on this journey with Jamie and Alyssa.
Hi everyone, this is Alyssa. I am Jamie's sister-in-law. Little fun fact. I am also into all the ooky spooky goodness. I'm more into the more of the paranormal things, the afterlife, spirits, ghosts, things of that nature. Serial killers really don't do it for me. My anxiety doesn't let me. My anxiety's already through the roof. So, just thinking about having a serial killer outside my door really just does not do it for me. So I will be, a revolving guest, as Jamie said. So I'll be here and there. Definitely want to give my takes on some things, especially with afterlife and things of that nature. Growing up, my mom practiced, she's a Wiccan, so I grew up around it. So I'm very excited to be on this journey with my girls.
All right. And I just also wanted to give a warm welcome to everyone that is listening in, as today is kind of a big deal. It is the first episode to Hot Ghouls Club. And for today's topic, I've decided to do something that holds significance to myself and some of my hosts here, as this is a case that takes place within our own backyard, so to speak, of Long Island, New York. What we're going to be diving into today is the Gilgo Beach murders, also known as the victims of Long Island serial killer, Lisk for short. And just a heads up, we'll be making this a two-parter, as we really want to give as much information and recognition to everything and everyone that is involved in this case. So now would be a good time as any to do a little trigger warning, as things will get graphic in conversation, and to be advised that we will be discussing what is currently an ongoing case, as Lisk has not been identified officially. There will be certain parts of Lisk where we speak about Rex Heuermann, for example, and everything relating to him will be alleged. However, in order to get into Rex and Lisk, we need to focus on the reason why Suffolk County Police was able to discover a serial killer in its midst. So without further ado, let's dive into the disappearance and untimely death of Shannan Gilbert. So in December of 2010, a Suffolk County Police Canine Unit was in Oak Beach, Long Island, New York, participating in a routine canine unit training session. They were set out to that area because of Shannan Gilbert. She had a missing persons report created for her by her mom May 3rd, 2010, that documented the Oak Beach area was her last known location May 1st, 2010. During the session, the canine does actually get a hit to a scent and ultimately led to the unit discovering remains. The remains in question were at first believed to Shannan Gilbert, but we come to find out they actually belonged to another woman by the name Maureen Brainard Barnes, which launched the further investigation to the area, and just 3 days later, the investigation led to the discovery of 3 more sets of remains. It was Shannan Gilbert that was involved in 3 documented phone calls into 911 during her time in a gated community in Oak Beach, giving cause to even search the area. The death of Shannan Gilbert to this day is one of controversy and uncertainty, where we are still waiting to see this case get closed. Shannan Gilbert was only 23 years old at the time of her death, and she left behind her mother, Mary Gilbert, and her sisters, Sherry, Sarah, and Stevie. By the time Shannan was 23, she had already gone through harder times than most people her age. She had been in and out of foster care throughout her younger years, and by the time she was in her young adulthood, she was trying to better her situation by going back to school to pursue her dream of writing. When she got into escorting, prior to and during her trying to better herself, she did it under an agency. This is where most people in that field start, since there is added protection for the escorts. While there, she happened to meet both her boyfriend Alex Diaz, who was a driver, and Michael Pack, another driver. However, after a little while of doing it, both her and her driver Pack were looking to make more money, so they both decided to team up and part ways with the agency to do so. This isn't a strange decision made by Shannan and Pack, as agencies commonly see this happen. Once Shannan and Pack got operating using Craigslist as one of the ways that Shannan was selling her services, Pack would now act as Shannan's bodyguard along with being her driver to the places and people that would book her. In the late hours of April 30th, Shannan was in New York City looking to see if she could get some work. Shannan would usually go there since she lived in New Jersey at the time with her boyfriend Alex, and found that New York City was usually the place to flip a quick buck. At around 1 a.m, May 1st, Shannan finally got a client through Craigslist by the name John Brewer to go to his house in Oak Beach, which was about 2 hours' drive from where they were. It's unclear what time exactly Shannan and Pack arrived at Brewer's, but we know that just a few short hours later, at 4:51 a.m., Shannan was on the last phone call she'd ever make before her untimely death.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Oak Beach, where is that? That's in Nassau?
That's in Suffolk County, considered Suffolk, I believe.
Where is it?
It's like by Jones Beach. A lot of people know it by Jones Beach.
Oh, okay.
15 minutes from there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And that was like 2 hours from where she was in the city?
Like if you do like a quick Google
drive?
search, like from New York City, generalized area, to Brewer's house, it's about a 2-hour drive. So, but that's why it's unclear exactly what time she got to his house.
Right. If she was sitting in traffic.
But at 5 a.m? No.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Well, maybe.
Never mind.
Maybe the very, very beginning of
Yeah,
rush
driving
hour.
out there.
What day of the week was it? We don't know.
May 1st. I actually don't know. I don't think I looked into it.
2010. Can't recall off the top of my head. Okay, sorry. I was just thinking like where that was.
Isabella,
I'm
can
not
you just
super-
look that up for us?
Yeah. Because our little list is it. Oak Beach.
That's a Saturday.
Wow.
Oh, wait, but May 1st.
So
was a
Friday into
So
Saturday.
It was either a Friday or Saturday. Saturday into Sunday.
Friday into
It
Saturday.
was a Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Oak Beach, New York. It's only 40 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And then what? New York City. It's only like an hour and 20. I think. Sorry, I don't mean to like fact check.
No, I love it. An hour 20 from what? From Oak Beach to?
Just New York City.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
But did she drive or did she take transport? She drove, right?
She drove, yeah. Michael
I mean, I guess
her.
however the long... I was trying to catch him in a lie. I'm like, call the police right now.
I just... I put
2
out new
hours?
information. Investigator 911. What's your emergency?
I'm acting like you said it took him 6 hours to get there. I'm like, how long?
No.
I'm like, no. You said an hour and 40. I'm sorry, it's an hour and 10. I don't think so.
Someone's a little guilty.
The 30 minutes are not accounted for.
Yeah, and I'm going to need to know where you were.
Did you get gas? Mm-hmm. Did you get snacks?
Snacks.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
Mm-hmm. Tell me now.
Questions.
It hasn't been that long.
And there's a lot of places you could stop on Long Island along the way.
Mm-hmm. There
Pick
sure
up
is.
a couple things. All right, anyway.
So
this is her trick, like, for the night.
Yeah, this is her
Okay.
trick for the night. Yeah. I'm by Jones Beach. Somebody's after me. Stop. Are you going to kill me? So this was all set up. I just want to go home.
We're good.
But you know what? That was actually a big topic. Is like she never said where she was, but she says I'm by Jones Beach. Like
That's
that was
true.
like top of her.
Well, that's
recording.
how I would, like, I know
Yeah.
Jones Beach, and I grew up here. I don't really know Oak Beach, whatever.
Yeah.
Me either.
These are just a few statements you can hear being made by Shannan Gilberts to both the dispatcher and her driver and bodyguard Michael Pack while she was on her 22-minute recorded phone call to 911. The call itself is somewhat disturbing to listen to without context, and even more so after gaining the knowledge that this was the last call before her death.
So, quick question. Does the Suffolk County Police website still have Shannan Gilbert's call up on there?
So actually, it's not up on their website anymore. They used to have this whole entire separate page dedicated to Gilgo Beach. It was called gilgonews.com. And it was a link that they actually had right on their homepage, along with like Shannan had her own little tab on there as well. They took it down. They added a unit to Lisk to actually get it solved because it was like a standstill for, since 2010. And I did notice that after Rex Hewerman was detained, that's when it came down because it was available. But everything that's like the recordings, all that other stuff, you can still find that on the internet. It's ABC News, I believe, has it, where you can listen to it there. These are just a few statements you can hear being made by Shannan Gilbert to both the dispatcher and to her driver and bodyguard Michael Pack while she was on her 22-minute recorded phone call to 911. The call itself is somewhat disturbing to listen to without context, and even more so after gaining the knowledge that this was the last call before her death. Throughout the call as a listener, you can hear the distress Shannan's going through from when she first places it all the way to the end 22 minutes later. During her call, you can hear her saying those previous statements to Pack and an undetermined male, as well as Shannan's scream, and then you immediately hear sounds of her running, hiding, knocking on doors in the gated community of Oak Beach. Throughout this part of her ordeal, there are 2 other 911 calls placed regarding Shannan and her behavior. The second 911 call and first door Shannan knocked on to get help was that of Gus Coletti. This is also the place where Shannan's 911 call eventually ends and Gus's is placed. While Shannan was on his front step and still on her call, you can hear Shannan breathing heavily and Gus asking Shannan, "What's the matter? Is somebody after you?" During Gus's question to Shannan, she tells him that she needs help, but quickly after stating that, she again runs off, all while Gus can still be heard asking her to wait and is still trying to get some sort of answers from her. Then her line dies. At 5:22 a.m., Gus gets on the phone with police to explain how there was a young girl whom he thought was 14 screaming in his neighborhood while being followed by a guy.
Wait, and she was 23?
And she was 23 at the time.
And he said she looked 14?
Yeah. Shannan does, if you do look at her, like, I think because she's such a petite build, that's why she, yeah.
Okay, and so... All right, yeah. So she ran up to his door.
Yeah.
And then she was on the phone. Her line died. And then he starts calling 911.
Yep. And then that's when you can hear, and that's where you can hear him try and give as much information to 911 as he can. He was able to provide a description of Shannan, which direction she had gone off in after leaving his house, as well as what the vehicle Pack was driving looked like. He also repeated to the police that under his impression he was left that Pack was trying to follow her and that he had only been able to see as much until Shannan and Pack got to the gatehouse, which was the entrance and exit to their community.
Interesting. It was a gated community, but was it like were the things actually down and stuff, or no? We don't know if it was like that type of community. You know how, like,
I'm actually yeah.
Have nothing.
I'm not sure. I know it had it was like a little house that somebody, I assume somebody was like in, but even then sometimes.
Nobody had been at, well, I guess it was 5, nobody was in there at 5:30 in the morning.
You would think somebody would, because that's like right around the time of like.
That's like could be the start of like some commuters.
Yeah.
But I guess not. You know how many there like little communities are around here that it's like that?
Yeah, like Heatherwoods, nobody's ever there.
No, the thing is never down.
Yeah, no. Pay all that money and you get nothing.
And if people aren't aware, Oak Beach is a very, very rich area of Long Island. So that's, I feel like, a good tidbit to know.
It's probably down.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting.
It's like scanning in and out. Maybe not then. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it's also like an old school kind of community. So like it depends on whether or not they're up to date with like all the technology and, you know, what have you. I can't recall though if they had the actual gate.
And this is 2010, so this is just right before, I guess, you know, all like the ring and all like this, all like other stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really wasn't around yet.
Nope.
The last and final 911 call that was made that fateful morning was at 5:30 a.m. by Barbara Brennan. Barbara was able to make the call while Shannan was still knocking on her door, telling Barbara that she was in danger. During the call, Barbara turns her attention to the operator, repeats that Shannan said that she was in danger, and says almost like a statement, "And we're in a gated community." And let the dispatcher know that that she was not going to be letting Shannan in, especially because she had her elderly mother in the house with her. At that point in the call, Shannan's knocking ceases, and we can assume that that's when she left Barbara's residence. After Barbara's part of the testimony, that's when the dispatcher quickly assured Barbara that police were on their way, and that concluded the phone calls put in that morning. The first police car on the scene was there at 5:40 a.m., an hour after Shannan's first call, but 20 minutes after Gus's and 10 minutes after Barbara's.
I was gonna say that was a lot of activity on one situation,
Right.
and an hour later, that's how long it took.
And that's why, like, her mom
And
is
this
so
what, in
outraged.
May? There's like no like special. It's not like it's a holiday. Like it's not the summer. I know summers are more crazy, like on Long Island, so it's not like that. What's going on?
And that's why her mom was so
trash.
outraged. That's why she was so
trash.
mad. So something that should be known is that in the first precinct of the Suffolk County Police Precincts is 20 minutes from the Oak Beach location. After researching more into this, without Shannan having been able to provide her exact location, there wasn't much else the police could do. GPS tracking at that time did not become a routine use of the distress location until 2012. So once police got the needed location from Gus's call and showed up on scene, they did not have any sight of Shannan Gilbert, nor the SUV, or where she could have gone off. They eventually called off the scene after the bolo for Shannan and pack proved fruitless, and already got the necessary statements by the residents of the area. 2 days after the 3 separate 911 calls were placed, another 2 calls were made that would change the life of the Gilbert family forever. One was placed to Shannan's sister by Alex Diaz. He told her that he had not seen or heard from Shannan since April 30th, and that wasn't like her, and he was getting worried. Shannan and Alex were a pretty routine couple, as there really wasn't any reason at the time for Shannan to stray from their routine or to ghost Alex. The next one was placed by Dr. Hackett, an Oak Beach resident who placed a call to the Gilberts family home in upstate New York. This is the call that prompted Mary to file a missing persons report on Shannan right away because of how strange in nature it was. Hackett's phone call is one of the more interesting and bizarre things to happen in Shannan's case, as it was just 2 days after her disappearance and was called in the day her missing persons report was even created. What was actually discussed on that call is yet another uncertainty that's added to this case, as we have 2 different versions. That of what Mary Gilbert says was discussed, and that of what Dr. Hackett says was discussed. Mary Gilbert has told detectives and reporters that Dr. Hackett had called her home May 3rd and told Mary that he wanted to let her know that he had recently seen Shannan, that it was 2 nights ago, and that he has a home for wayward women, and that he saw Shannan outside, invited her into his home, and then gave her medication because she seemed so out of sorts. But then she ended up leaving his house with a guy in a black sedan, and that he doesn't know where she went after that, but also wanted to let her know that he was there if she ever needed help.
Okay, just, that scene from Legally Blonde where she's laying in bed and she's eating a box of chocolates and she's watching TV and the guy says something and she screams liar and throws it out. That's just what I felt.
Yes.
He's lying.
Yes.
Like, immediate lie.
Like, first of all, like, what a, like...
Straight to jail.
Super bizarre thing to say.
Why are you calling this woman? How do you know who this woman is?
And this woman clearly at this point has no idea that her daughter is missing, that anything's ever happened to her, that...
You can go a couple days
like,
without
they're
calling one of your parents.
absolutely.
It's not the end of the world. She's 23.
It is so
She's
normal.
living her life. And,
Yes.
they probably, who knows how often they were talking.
Mm-hmm.
That is... Calls her house upstate.
Yeah. Yep.
That's really
He has to know all of this girl's information then.
That's the curious thing, is like how exactly he got that information.
Like,
Right.
all he knows is her first and last name. I guess her driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
He had to have gotten her phone number from her phone.
Mm-hmm. Somehow,
yeah.
It had to have been from her phone. Well, how else would we have gotten it?
exactly. Like that's the
I
that's the
guess
thing.
phones
It's like
maybe a phone book, but like
mm-hmm.
they had phones back then. She definitely had the house phone number. Did she have a cell phone? Yeah.
Yeah, she had the
Just call
cell phone.
cops.
Yeah.
Maybe her mom didn't have a cell phone, but she definitely had a cell phone.
Yeah.
Was her cell phone ever found?
Her cell phone was found
Oh,
with her
it was?
belongings. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows what you can definitely, like, literally now you can, like, look back.
Oh,
Like, what apps they opened, how long they were on them, what they searched, all
Yeah.
that fucking shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you couldn't do that back in 2010.
No. That was just like that was.
Basic.
Yeah, I mean, the iPhone was still just,
I had an iPhone 2010. It was fucking stolen from me.
Really?
I had it for like a month.
That's so sad.
It's good times.
Bastards.
I didn't have an iPhone for like...
Whoever stole that from Tara, I hope you have the worst life right now.
I hope you stub your toe really fucking hard.
Yeah, me too.
Every day.
The same toe.
Too. I know who it is. I can't remember who it is, but I definitely know who it is.
Like you can picture the face.
No, I can't. I just know that I know who it was. I just can't remember right now. I have to like look through like my memories. You know, I
have to download your memories.
I put them away. You know.
Yeah. However, Dr. Hackett's version of this event is a much simpler, shorter version, and that to him, the phone call to the Gilbert home actually didn't even happen when he first was questioned about it. It wasn't until telephone reports came out proving that Dr. Hackett had placed the call to the Gilbert house that he then said, paraphrasing now, "Oh, well, yeah, I ended up calling her 1 week after I found out about everything just to extend a helping hand. Plus, I was pressured to do so by friends." But once he was corrected that the report showed that he did in fact call 2 days after and not the full week, his response was that he makes a lot of calls and essentially can't be bothered to remember exactly what calls he makes and when.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
Okay, so he's just like a little like hag.
Essentially.
He just like is a gossip hag. Like what the fuck?
No, literally.
I make a lot of calls.
Yeah, like I got a lot of calls to do. There's definitely people like that on fucking Long Island, like fucking assholes.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's
a
like
little shithead doctor in a little like gated community. Go fuck yourself.
Literally.
Right.
Regardless of what version happened, Dr. Hackett put himself into the middle of the investigation and became a person of interest.
Absolutely.
After further investigation to Hackett, the detectives were able to rule him out and label him as basically being a busybody. And this wasn't the first time that Dr. Hackett used the privileges of being in the higher society of Suffolk County and put his nose where it shouldn't be. This time, he for once felt the consequences of his own action. Something else to be mentioned is that when Mary Gilbert originally tried to file a missing persons report for Shannan, she had tried to do so where Shannan was last seen in Suffolk County. However, Mary ended up getting told that she couldn't file the missing persons report here, but rather in New Jersey under the state where Shannan lives. This becomes one of the key issues as to why it took so long as it did for police to connect May 1st phone calls to her missing persons report and to really get a move into the case.
That just feels like a broken system. That is why it's...
Right.
I mean, that is why the United States is just too damn fucking big.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't, like... Yeah, I kind of get that you should report her missing in New Jersey because that's where she's living and so her, like, home is vacant in a sense. But, like, oh my god, but that's the thing. It's almost like she's missing in a different country.
Like, it should have been...
It shouldn't be that... It should be so simple.
It should be
like,
2 places then.
Yes, but it's like... She's missing. We know where she was last.
Yeah.
Connect immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Work on this now.
Yeah.
Drive out there.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need, like, a passport to just go out to Long Island and ask questions.
And that was the issues that they were facing. The Gilbert family had to keep going back and forth, driving from upstate New York to both New Jersey and Long Island to try and get answers on Shannan.
Wow. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And so, like, what Jersey probably didn't want to do is drive out here and investigate. And then since... It's almost like...
It's like a jurisdiction issue. So it's like, you know, it's almost like a pissing contest or a dick measuring contest. Like, you know, especially when it involves a person of disappearance or like anything of interest, that precinct wants to be the one to solve the issue. Unless it's not favorable to them, then they don't want anything with it. Right. They don't want to have to deal with the paperwork. They don't want to have to deal with...
Especially, like, why she was out here.
Yeah, exactly.
They're absolutely just, like, discriminating against her.
Of course, and
like
her being an escort.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why people target women like her.
Yep.
Which is horrible.
Yeah. Yep. And also, that's not, you know, the Long Island serial killer isn't the first and probably won't be the last serial killer to target escorts on Long Island. Let alone anywhere else in this country, you know?
World.
Oh my gosh, world, don't.
We're not going there.
Like, what if I went on vacation to Arizona?
Right.
Like, I went fucking missing.
Right.
Are you kidding
Hopefully
me?
they solve that now.
That issue solved.
Yeah, because of, like, the technology boost, so. But, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe because, like, you could pin your phones now.
Like with the whole, Petito piece.
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
You know what I mean? I wonder if they
right.
hit those roadblocks, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
that was
'cause
solved
obviously-
fairly quickly within,
Yeah. A month.
Yeah, because of like
Yeah.
TikTok and shit.
yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
Honestly,
that YouTube
TikTok,
Video,
let's go.
that YouTube video that saw the van, that was crazy. Hold on, I have a really quick question. Where did Pat go that night?
So he's on record saying that he tried to follow Shannan as long as he could, and he was shouting for her through the streets, and that she just was refusing, and he said he just dipped. He just left. He said he couldn't get her to go in the car, and he just decided to leave.
And he's paid to be her bodyguard?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, a little like 5 foot nothing.
She literally, when somebody said she looked 14.
Yeah. Couldn't just like get her in the car as like a
In
bodyguard.
the car and chase her at
Yeah.
least.
No. Yeah.
Interesting. And he was heard on her first phone call to the police?
Yeah, you could hear him asking her.
And this wasn't investigated immediately. So it's
He-
not like they could have tracked his, like, mileage and shit.
Correct.
This isn't SVO. They're not, like, on it.
Right,
No.
right.
I mean, it's an escort too, and it's
Right.
it's like one of those towns where once the trouble goes, let's not try and make more.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep. Absolutely.
Mary Gilbert and Shannan's family couldn't take the lack of information and seemingly lack of action from the Suffolk County police investigation. After a week of no updates on Shannan after she went missing, they decided to drive from their residence to upstate New York to Long Island, where Shannan was last seen, and conduct their own search from Shannan there. One of the biggest things I would like to point out here is that during a missing persons investigation, the first 48 hours is some of the most precious time, where the window of probability of finding the missing person alive starts to drop drastically. Since Mary was already at that 48-hour point when she was finally able to file that missing persons report, she knew that without a big push into Shannan's disappearance, that her daughter was on borrowed time. After seeing that the Suffolk County Police Department was seemingly not actively digging into her disappearance with the ferocity needed at this point, Mary did everything in her own power to try and find her daughter and bring her home. Unfortunately, the Gilbert family's search came up fruitless, and they were left having to go back home without Shannan and without further knowledge of what happened to Mary's oldest daughter and Sherry, Sarah's, and Stevie's oldest sister. Gus Coletti recalls during an ABC interview that he didn't understand why after that morning on May 1st, he hadn't heard from anyone about what happened to Shannan. It wasn't until August, 3 months later, that somebody came knocking on his door inquiring about that night. After that, once again, we're left in radio silence on Shannan's disappearance and potential whereabouts. In December 2010, another 7 months later after Shannan's disappearance, it's then that Suffolk County PD officer John Malia took his K-9 unit and took it upon himself to do a routine training session in the area Shannan was last seen. It was this that resulted in finding the first set of remains belonging to Maureen Bernard Barnes, and then continued investigation and further discovery of 3 more remains belonging to Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amberlyn Costello, all of whom had become famously known as the Gilgo Four. In regards to Shannan Gilbert, 18 months after her disappearance, her body was found in December 2011. This is after Suffolk PD found an additional 6 other sets of remains. Finally having been found, Shannan's body was examined and her death was ruled as accidental drowning by a pathologist, though she was missing parts of her fingers and toes and a small bone in her neck. It has also been found that she did not have any drugs in her system at the time of examination. After hearing the ruling of the Gilberts family wanted a second opinion and hired their own pathologist. While the hired pathologist believes that the exact cause of death is unknown, they felt they noticed symptoms consistent with strangulation to Shannan's body. This is just another note added to the Gilberts family reasoning that Shannan did not die of natural causes, but of malicious intent instead. This was also stated that not only did her body exhibit signs of potential strangulation, it found face up. That position is not a common position consistent with the death of drowning.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, you'd have to be face down. And then I know this is, did you say this? How long did they say she was dead, or they couldn't determine that?
They couldn't determine it. It's been too long.
And so they couldn't determine if her fingers were, like, eaten off or chopped off.
That's like, yeah, speculators that natural elements got to her fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then can they even tell if she was moved?
No.
Like, if that's where she died, or if that's what they're saying, though. That's where she died, obviously.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I don't know.
I don't know either. How many reports can you get? I mean, because you have to pay for the private ones, and I'm sure that's a pretty penny.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not cheap.
Right. And that's the thing, is that her position, her final resting position, the fact that the bone in her neck was missing, the fact that the 911 call, I mean, that's a huge thing. You know, there's a lot of flags, and that's why the Gilbert family's not happy with the finding and, like, how the case went, is because it took so long. There wasn't that big push when it first happened, and if they had canine units out already,
right?
You know, that same year, not the following.
Yeah, that same weekend when the calls were put in that she was in distress and then missing. Hello.
Exactly.
But like, what is so you're saying is the motive for them declaring it an accidental drowning to cover the fact that they didn't act quick enough? Like, there was nothing they could have done?
For me, I've gone so deep into this case, and I truly don't know what I believe. The fact that she was inside of a mosquito, like the trenches that she was found in.
Oh, yeah.
And they can get to 6 feet deep of water. So, like, if you misstep.
And are there a ton of fucking mosquitoes there?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that can drive you fucking insane. Have you ever been, like, trapped on the beach at night?
Yeah.
And, like, the fucking bugs come for you?
Yes.
I remember, like, I've heard of people getting trapped, like, in the marshes. And, like, it taking hours to get out. Yeah. And, like, they are just eaten alive. Like, that can just send you into a friend. Like, you just want to give up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. That's, like, torture. But who knows if that happened. But if that did, I mean... Early May.
It
might be a little bit cold, but they're still there. They're fucking there.
For sure there. Absolutely.
Especially in the trenches.
Yep.
Right. And if she was already in a frenzied state,
yeah,
I can absolutely see her if she got caught in this marsh and this mosquito trap that they have.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see her
like drowning.
Just drowning. Yeah. It could have happened.
But it's just weird that she was face up. But what is the motive for them not to, like, kind of pin this on the Long Island serial killer? That's the thing.
So the motive that the Suffolk County Police Department has is that the body was found completely different from all the others. So there was no tarp that was commonly used on his victims.
Okay.
The way she died, although difficult to say, it just still, the remains didn't have that consistency as the other ones did. Some were dismembered.
Right.
It just wasn't the same MO.
So next episode, you're going to get into the actual murders of the Long Island serial killer. Okay.
Yes.
So really, even though she doesn't track, she is what opened it up.
Yeah.
She's
the whole reason.
You know, saving many more women's lives.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
no matter what happened to her.
Mm-hmm. Shannan.
Whether it was natural causes or like somebody had murdered her. She's, you know.
Absolutely. She's the key. She's a key hero in death, and she's the reason why they
crazy psychotic drug break. You know, I mean, I know she didn't have drugs in her system at the time.
That was also a thing, is that because it was so long though that she was a known avid cocaine user. Cocaine can come out of the system relatively quickly. So
but like how much cocaine? Because you don't go like crazy on cocaine.
No, but that was also
like you're fine.
Something that I don't think I mentioned too was that she had the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, and her sister has schizophrenia. So they think that there has been some people saying and speculating that she was having an episode, and that's what caused her to act the way she was.
Was she on meds?
For it, I'm unsure.
Oh, borderline is so tricky. Mm-hmm. That is so tricky.
Isn't that hard to diagnose?
It is. It is hard to diagnose, and it's even harder to treat. You know, it's very tricky.
Yeah.
Did we where her body was found and whose backyard?
Where she was actually found. Which I'll have a picture on our Instagram, so that way you guys can really get a good visual. But she was found, essentially, you can walk out of Dr. Hackett's house, his backyard, and look right to where her body was found. She was about 200 feet away. So, like, it was, I mean, still essentially, like, it's very crazy to see, like, the setup of, like, where his house is to where her body was found.
So Hackett's house is down the road from Brewer's house. Yeah. And, you know, it is a very small and wealthy community, right? So I'm just trying to piece things together in my head because
Yeah.
I think that piece of information that Hackett randomly called her mother, you know, and said, "Hey, I saw your daughter, and you know she wasn't doing really well, and now she's missing."
Yeah.
And she was found 200 feet from his house.
Yeah.
Does he still live in the community?
Dr. Hackett?
Or did he move away?
I know Brewer moved. I think Hackett did. Yeah, Hackett did. He moved too. And this is not where our victim list or story ends. As we know, there are 6 more remains found and linked to Lisk, along with the original Gilgo 4. And that was the first episode, so catch you in the shadows.
Stay ghouly.
I love